Shabbat, my favorite day of the week. No matter what difficulties I had during the week, no matter how many problems, no matter how many worries I might have for what I need to do the very next week, when it comes to Shabbat, if someone asks me, how was your week? It was fine. It was great. Basically, the week is over. Now it's Shabbat. I can move on, and Shabbat just has a way of putting things in life in a better perspective. I can experience the extra level of spirituality that comes with Shabbat. I can reconnect to the deeper, more meaningful purpose of my life and can connect with my Creator more deeply than the other days of the week. Every mitzvah or commandment is an opportunity to connect with Hashem. And on Shabbat, we have 39 categories of prohibited activities, Melachot, that by not doing them, these help us make a full connection with Hashem. By avoiding these activities, we are also making a declaration that Hashem created the world in 6 days, rested on the seventh, and by us refraining from manipulating His creation, we are acknowledging His ownership of it. These 39 categories are derived from the activities that were required in building the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the wilderness. Since we were commanded to cease from building the Mishkan or doing any maintenance on it on Shabbat, we are to cease from these activities. There are previous videos that cover the 11 Melachot involved in making bread, and 5 of the 13 Melachot involved with making fabric. So this video will cover the next 4 Melachot for fabric making. These 4 Melachot are the ones directly involved with weaving thread into fabric. The fabric was used for the draperies in the Mishkan and for the clothes of the Kohanim, the priests. Weaving involves connecting numerous north and south threads. So all looms basically have pegs at the top and bottom to put the north and south threads, and then the other threads are woven in between. And then all looms will have a process for tightening the threads and then also removing them from the loom. So the activities that are required in constructing the loom are considered in this section: setting up the threads on the loom, the actual weaving process, and then since removing the final product required some unraveling or mistakes that had to be repaired required unraveling, that's also included. Today this is all automated on large industrial looms. In the days of the Mishkan, it was all a manual process making the loom. But how would this apply to us today? So obviously, if you have a loom and weaving is your hobby, then it would be a Torah prohibition for you to weave any threads on Shabbat, prepare the loom for weaving, or remove fabric from the loom. The prohibition of weaving on Shabbat is not just limited to threads for making fabric, and it does not only include tightly woven materials. So any kind of weaving, even basket making, would be prohibited, including laying out the base of the reeds in all 4 directions in order to form the base structure for the basket. Weaving netting, even though it's very loose and not necessarily similar to making fabric as far as the final product, since weaving is involved, that would also be prohibited on Shabbat. Making any strainers or sieves out of reeds that are more widely spaced would be prohibited. Even activities that don't involve a loom but involve weaving, such as knitting and crochet, would be prohibited on Shabbat. One other application is if you notice a long thread dangling from the hem of your outfit on Shabbat, it's best to resist that temptation to pull it and rather just to tuck it up inside the garment so it doesn't show, since that would be unraveling, which is one of the prohibitions. And if your child has made you a beautiful pot holder, it would be prohibited to remove it from this loom on Shabbat. So I hope that you found something here that you would like to add to enhance your Shabbat experience. You may have found that you are keeping all of these mitzvot already. So continue on your journey into Shabbat and continue your learning with Torch.